All right. So you have reached the point in your workouts where I'm starting to put some heavy days in there, which means you're going to see rep ranges in like the 2 to 5 rep range. I usually don't put singles in there, like, or 1 rep maxes. I just don't think those are helpful for most people to do. You can get a really good idea of what that weight actually is just by doing a 2, 3, 4, 5 rep max instead. Heavy is heavy. Heavy is heavy according to what your body feels is heavy that day too. So why heavy days? Some people think they're really fun. Some people think they're terrifying. They're useless and they're dumb. Maybe like jumping into your workouts is getting it done fast. You're like, what am I doing this for? The idea is that like it really does overload or overwhelm the musculature system. Fancy words. What does that mean? They're actually experiencing a much more significant test and loading than they've experienced before, which can then lead to a lot more growth as well. Is the growth not achieved on other days? It totally is. In lower volume days and just doing a bunch of the same movement, definitely is achieved on other days, but they provide a chance for us to actually kind of test some of the training you've been doing up to this point, probably about 4 or 5 months worth of doing like a bit more high intensity workouts where you're doing supersets and quick rest and getting back to it. Now we're actually going to spend a little bit of time on a dedicated, frequently barbell lift, sometimes a dumbbell lift instead. So what do these workouts kind of look like? You'll see at the top in the section there, it's going to say barbell back squat heavy day, or bench press heavy day, or deadlift heavy day, or push press, or shoulder press, or whatever it is, heavy day. And it'll have a blurb after that says like, warm up, and don't be surprised that you don't get through the whole workout after that, or take the rest of the workout a bit lighter because that's a big stimulus. So when you lift something really heavy, your body starts sending communication from your brain to your muscles saying, all right, now you really got to try. We're going to try something. Not that you weren't trying before that, you were, but your nervous system gets super taxed as well. So I mean, imagine trying to lift the heaviest, something off the ground you cannot lift at all. Not a barbell, it's anything in life, right? You can't do it, but you tried as hard as you possibly could. Would you walk away from that feeling really tired, even though you didn't actually move anything? Odds are pretty good, yes, right? And what would happen in the moment is like your brain starts sending communication to every muscle involved in that lift, saying fire, try, like fire, trying to fire these muscles, clenching them, tightening them, trying to make you be able to lift that object. Which, as you can imagine, is not like taxing on the muscles, taxing on the nervous system. So what these days should look like is you should actually spend a good amount of time warming up. Let's just say you're trying to hit a 200 pounds lift, doesn't matter what it is. And that could be something you'll never see in your lifetime. It could be something you have already seen in a lift. That doesn't matter. That particular number, I'm just throwing that out there because I can make it happen. I can do some quick math in my head. First of all, warm up all the joints in that movement. So warm up, if you're squatting, warm up your hips. Do the swings, do some deep squats, do some light goblet squats, do some wall squats with your hands above the wall, your feet close to the wall, and trying to get as low as you can, working your mobility in your hips. Maybe put a band around your hip and do some hip opening, whatever you got to do to actually warm up the squat. Same goes for bench press, do a lot of things on the shoulders. Push press, shoulder press, same thing. Deadlift, still hips, same thing. Similar thing, you need some kettlebell swings on a deadlift day. And then you start actually using, let's just say it's a barbell, you actually start using the barbell. Now you put the barbell on your back and you just do a few reps with just the empty barbell. Now if you've never done a back squat before, and back squats come with a bit of a safety precaution as well, right? If you fail at a given weight, what are you going to do with that bar? If you don't feel like you know how to fail or have safety arms to catch you, or know how to drop a weight or can't drop a weight, maybe treat this as like a heavier technique day. That's okay. It's okay to work really hard on your back squat, work on your technique a lot, and then just know like I'm not going to put a weight I don't know I can't lift on there. Maybe do a few extra sets of it, maybe we'll shorten the rest a little bit, still make use of it, right? So let's just say you're going to try to hit a 200 pound lift on something. So you start with just the empty barbell, then you're probably going to add maybe some 25s. Just do that same movement now at the 25s. You're at 95 pounds or 85 if you're using a 35 pound bar. And the next step up could either be 115 or maybe it'd be like 135. So now you put the 45s on, or and you go a little bit You do a few more warm-up reps. So let's just say you're going to hit a heavy, let's just say it's a 3x5. So you're going to hit a heavy set of 5 for your first set. And you want to hit 200 pounds. Keep with this kind of progression. But what you're hearing so far is a lot of warm-up, which, as you can imagine, when you're trying to warm up a lot for your body, preparing mentally, you preparing your body and your muscles and your nervous system to fire, then there's more time involved in this. So you're not going to be doing this in like, you can do these warm-up sets relatively quickly. Do an empty barbell set, put the plates on, go again, rest about a minute or 90 seconds, put the next plate on, go again. Then, as you prepare to get closer to your lift, let's just say you want to try to hit 185 first, so 45s and 25s on the bar for whatever this lift is. Well, you just did 135 before that, and you maybe did like 8. Well, maybe I'd throw 155, 165 on, because that'll give you a really good idea as to how that particular day 185 is going to feel. If you just jump from 135 to 185, all of a sudden you don't have an idea of how it's going to feel. Your body might be like, hey, that's a lot. Inch up to it, and then once you're there, open with that. So you say, oh, I'm going to open with 185, and you see how that goes for 5. You might walk away from that going, wow, I got a lot more in the tank. I'm going to throw 200 on right now, maybe even 205. Go for it. Maybe it feels like it was the heaviest thing on earth. You might want to do that same, rest a while and do that same one again. And by the way, that rest period that says 3 minutes, I want you to actually do that. I don't want you to skip it and say, well, I don't really need it. That's there because of science. And I'm not using a lot of scientific terms, so I don't want to bore you, but that is there because of science. You need to rest that 3, 4, 5 minutes sometimes between sets. This is the day you fold your laundry between your sets. It's not a day to like, and I would say don't go do push-ups or whatever else in between, or don't just go do more things. That's not a good idea. Rest. It's boring. It doesn't feel productive. These are the days where some of the biggest increases in strength are actually made. It's very important to actually put your body in these places. Sometimes, not often, probably 1 or so days a week moving forward, you're going to see a heavy day on the calendar. I'll rotate through the lifts, making sure we get some time between each one, different rep schemes, different sets, things like that too. So it's a lot of rest. So as you can imagine, warm up with your body, just body weight movements, warming up with the actual approach to the number you want to hit, and then actually doing the sets themselves and resting 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes between them. It's a lot of time. And you're going to sit there and go, I didn't do anything. No, you did a lot. You focused onto one very simple thing, and your body's going to be grateful for that. Because you didn't try to shorten the rest, do way too much load, do a bunch of work afterwards, and yeah, you did a bunch of work. You got to sweat in. The goal these days is not to maybe sweat a lot at all. A lot of my heavy days, I don't really break a sweat. That's not the goal. Sweat does not equal good workout. Heavy lifts does not equal good workout either. Good workout is where you walked in knowing what you needed to do that day, or what the workout demanded of you, and you were able to do something resembling that. It could be a day with a lot of supersets, a lot of short rests, a lot of weight was moved really fast. That's good. It could be a day where you do a heavy day, and you don't spend a lot of time. You maybe do after warm sets, just your working sets. So let's just say that day, go back to that 200-pound example, 185 moves really well for the 5. You're so confident. You're saying, I'm going to jump to 205 for my next set of 5. You already have another set left. You're doing 3 sets of 5. 205 goes on. You get all 5 done. You feel really good. Awesome. You could try that again and just hit it 2 times for the extra confidence of knowing you did the weights you wanted to do twice or more. Or you could go to 215, 220. You're going to learn as you go. I'd say always err on the side of being more cautious at first. As you grow more confident in the movement, then you can do a little more weight. And if you ever want to ask me for tips on how you should warm up with this, I'm trying to give as much as I can in this video, but if you need more than that, I'm happy to hop on a call and give you some ideas on this, but definitely watch this video before you do these, because it's going to tell you how to warm up for it. Now let's just say the opposite happens. You do that lift, you do a weight less than you were hoping to get to, and it feels like the heaviest thing that day. But you did it. Let's just say you got through all the reps. Let's just stick with this 5 rep thing. You got through 5 at 185, and it feels heavy. And it feels so heavy that you're not sure if you should do another set or not. Now, if you're not sure and you're on your own, it's a weight that could maybe crush you and you know how to fail, then don't do it again. Just don't. Drop the weight. Let's just say 165 and do that. Hey, that felt really easy. It felt good, really good. I'm going to try 185 one last time. There's a lot of different ways to do this. As you can see, at the end of the day, warm up really well. Approach the weight you want to get to, or if you don't even know, then just keep adding a little more and you'll find out. And do that in small increments, so fives and tens on the bar or whatever it is, depending on the lift, depending on what your known numbers are so far. Lift every single one of those weights like it is the heaviest thing you've ever lifted. So put a lot of effort into it, a lot of intention into your form. You're not trying to move things with slop in your movement at all. You're trying to be very precise in how you're moving your body, very safe. And so warm up, lift it like it's really heavy, and at the end of the day, your goal is to walk out of there not necessarily stronger. Your goal is to walk out of there safe and able to go back to your life and whatever else your life demands of you and your family demands of you, right? So we're not trying to get injured. We're not trying to hit personal best every single time. It will not happen. I've seen plenty of heavy days on my calendar where I'm like, I'm super excited for this, and I put the weight in the bar, and it's like, that is so much heavier than it's supposed to be. Look at my previous numbers. I know I can hit this, but I can't hit it today, and I don't know why. That's going to happen sometimes. Now, there we go. If I walk in there and I do what's heavy for that day, I do it safely. I warm up well. I take proper rest, and then maybe throw a little accessory working on top of that. Maybe it's a good day. It's a good day. There might be another day where I can PR that, and I wasn't even expecting to. Personal record. That's what PR means. So I'm kind of rambling here. I'm trying to consolidate the information. These days are not useless. They're extremely useful. I think they can be really fun. Especially, they'll also teach you how to be confident in your technique and confident in your form. And you'll be confident around weights because you're gonna lift a heavier weight. So, remember, the goal is to walk out of there not injured, not hurt, going back to your life better than you were before you came to the gym or before you walked up to the weights that day. So, heavy days can be super fun. They're extremely important for building strength. Because of that, they need their time, they need their rest, they have their place in the proper program. You'll probably be seeing one of those a week now. And if you have any more questions, please, I'm sure I missed some things here. I just want to give a brief video. You're like 12 minutes, that's not brief. This is pretty brief. I've seen 30-minute videos on this before. So these are extremely important days. They can be really fun. Work hard at them, give them the time they deserve. Don't expect to get through everything in the workout after that. Maybe pick like 1 to 3 more movements you're going to do after that if you have time to. But give that rest. Get that rest there, warm up well, and approach new and unfamiliar weights with safety, with caution, but also with confidence. You'll be surprised at what your body can do under these circumstances as you get into this. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see those PRs happen. And also fun to see them not happen, but just try for them. And also, some days you're just going to have a technique day, and that is what it is, and that is okay. Lift what's heavy that day, do it with quality. Live to lift another day. Try again at a different time. You'll be surprised.